Goodbye. What's happening? How's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful rainy day, bro. I hope it rains all week. I love the rain, man. I feel blessed right now when it's raining. You know what I'm saying? It feels so good out. It is a nice, it's about a moderate 75 degrees. It feels a little cooler than that, if I'm going to be honest. All right, but it's very nice weather. I just feel like talking, bro. I was just doing some work. I was listening to some Bible videos. I listened to a couple of videos. First, I listened to Bart Ehrman. His new video. I'm subscribed to Bart Ehrman. I like Bart Ehrman. And I was just listening to Jacob Berman. I forget who he's talking to. I forgot the guy's name. But they were talking about the Hebrew gospel. Everybody said there's a Hebrew gospel. Let me tell you guys something real quick. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. There ain't no Hebrew gospel. Okay? It don't exist. It never existed. There ain't no such thing as a Hebrew gospel. The gospels were written in Greek originally. Just facts, guys. There's no secret Jew gospel. It doesn't exist. Now they wrote it. Oh, I'm driving and the stoplights are out. And guess what? Everybody's just driving right through it. You're supposed to treat it like a four-way stop, you jackasses. The people they're not very smart, man. The IQs out here are below room temperature. Hey guys, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, because I know we're not all the smartest people in the world. You guys don't know how to drive. Look, if the traffic lights go out, if the the red light, green light, yellow light, that thing, if it stops working, guess what? That does not mean there's no longer traffic rules. That means that is now a four-way stop, okay? It turns into a four-way stop. It does not just give you like a just green light all day long, a never-ending, an eternal green light. No, you have to stop and let other people go. That's what we need to talk about, issues of morality and greed and selfishness. That's what I really need to talk about in every video, is greed and selfishness. The spirit of the devil. That's the spirit that rules over most people I encounter. Is the spirit of Satan. And the spirit of lust, the spirit of greed and selfishness. Selfishness is the de facto model for the American citizen. Selfishness. Average American selfish. Greedy capitalist. Get them out of my face. I'm not against capitalism, guys. I'm against greedy capitalists. There's a difference. Corporations are not people. All right, back to the Hebrew New Testament that does not exist. There's no such thing as a Hebrew New Testament. It doesn't exist. There's no Hebrew gospel. No such thing ever existed. And if there was a Hebrew gospel, it was translated into Hebrew from Greek, and Greek is the original. There is no such thing as the Hebrew gospel of Matthew. Does not exist. Never exist. Maybe there was a copy. Okay? But the language of the disciples and the early Christians, first of all, was Aramaic. Hebrew was a liturgical language. Liturgical. Nobody spoke Hebrew on the ground, bro. That's the book language, a language of the books. Nobody talked like that. No archaic language. First of all, you cannot have a Hebrew gospel. Why? Because the Hebrew is a barbaric language. I don't want to say barbaric, that's the wrong word. It's a primitive language. Hebrew is a primitive language. And there's certain concepts in Greek that you cannot explain in Hebrew properly. Unless, I guess, you're really good at Hebrew. I don't know. I don't think their vocabulary is even big enough to express what is being said in the New Testament. I do not think Hebrew's vocabulary is equipped to deal with the high-level thinking of the New Testament authors and Jesus. I just don't think it's there, guys. It's like, but Jesus did speak Aramaic. All right. So if they spoke Hebrew, the Hebrew they would speak Aramaic. and they might have called Aramaic Hebrew. That's a thing too. All right, they mistakenly called Aramaic Hebrew. And Aramaic, this is another thing. You guys got all the Bible folks, man, they're all messed up. I gotta let you guys in on another little secret. It's like an open secret. It's like the people who study, we know about it. Here's a secret, guy. You're not gonna like it. You guys are, you Christians, the Bible folks, you ain't gonna like it. Aramaic is Hebrew. Aramaic came first. Hebrew is a dialect of Aramaic. Now, I used to teach that Aramaic was a dialect of Hebrew. That's just totally wrong. All right. The oldest inscription appears in Aramaic before Hebrew. So, whatever, guys. What about the Proto-Hebrew? A bunch of scrap. We're not going there. But my point was the Gospels. Look. The language of the New Testament is in Greek. Even the language of the Old Testament was Greek. Until they discovered a Hebrew Old Testament. I'm sure that's real. I'm not saying the Dead Sea Scrolls are fake, guys. I'm not saying they're fake. I just don't know. I'm not an expert. I've never even witnessed the scrolls in person. I do know that a lot of scrolls from the Dead Sea Scrolls have been found out to be forgeries, but not all of them. So I'm not saying that they're like all fake. I'm not saying that at all, guys. But I'm just saying, it's just pretty odd. So if I question the Dead Sea Scrolls, I guess I'd also have to question Nag Hammadi, whatever, right? So I guess we'll take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? But the only Old Testament most of the Western civilization had ever known was a Greek Old Testament. We never touched or read a Hebrew Old Testament until the Jews gave us one, the Masoretic text. So everything we ever knew over here in the West was all Greek. It's all we ever knew. Or Latin. Latin, baby. What do you guys, Greek or Latin, who wins? If Greek and Latin gets in a fight, guys, who wins? I'm going to have to go with it. I do like Latin, though. But I definitely like Greek better. I think I understand Latin better. I thought I knew Greek better. I was thought wrong. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Greek, guys. I like Greek better. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to be honest with you guys. Greek's better. Half the Latin words come from the Greek. Bro's on a bike, and an African-American male refused to get out of the middle of the road. Alright, bro, like, I'm getting out of people's way when I'm on a bike. I do not want to die. Well, not right now, anyway. But anyways, I was saying, so the Old Testament is written in Greek. Originally, that's the only Old Testament we ever had forever and ever. And so they've discovered, until someone gave us a Hebrew one. And the New Testament was written in Greek, all right? But originally, the Old Testament was supposedly written in Hebrew. How come the New Testament is not written in Hebrew? All right? If Yahweh never changes, and if Hebrew's the special holy language, that's the language of God. God speaks Hebrew. That's what Christians teach. Not all of them. Some of them might say God speaks Greek. That's ridiculous. God speaks whatever language you're talking right now. Because God's inside of us. Oh! Alright, but if the Hebrew language is so special and so holy and so sacred, why is the New Testament written in Greek? Explain that to me. Oh, the Hebrew, that's the Lashon Kodash. That's the holy tongue. That's the tongue of angels. It's not the tongue of angels. First of all, it's Semitic. Okay, it comes from Aramaic. And it came from Akkadian. I guess Akkadian is holy as well. You know, did you know if you can read Hebrew, you can almost read Akkadian. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Almost. A little bit of it, right? But what was I saying? So yeah, so the Hebrew language is so goddamn special and so holy and so important, then how come the entirety of the New Testament is all in Greek? All of it. All Greek. All Greek. They ain't a lick of Hebrew. They quote some Hebrew. They'll say in the Hebrew tongue when it's actually Aramaic that they quote. So what's that all about, guys? But I thought Yahweh doesn't change. Okay? I thought Jesus was a Jew. Now, if Jesus was a Jewish rabbi, you guys don't know what a rabbi is. A rabbi is not a Jewish priest. I'm not getting into that. I just made a video on that yesterday. You don't know what a rabbi is. But people want to claim that Jesus, oh, he's a Jewish rabbi. I got pagans like Adam Green. Well, he blocked me. Adam Green's cronies, his little goons are on X every day saying, oh, you worship a Jew? You worship a Jewish rabbi? You're a Jesus cuck? No, they call you Christ cucks. You're just a Christ cuck. You worship a Jewish rabbi? Jesus was the worst Jewish rabbi ever. He's working on every Sabbath. He's breaking every law in the Torah. And then his holy book ain't even written in Hebrew. Jesus' holy book is written in Greek. There's a lot of apocryphal books from the Old Testament that did not make it in the Old Testament official canon. Why? Because they were not preserved in the original Hebrew tongue. Like Ecclesiasticus, it's not in the Old Testament. It's in our Apocrypha. Why? Because it's written in Greek. It claims to be written in Hebrew. People doubt that. The book itself claims it comes from Hebrew. Scholars have doubted that. I don't know. You can't prove that one way or the other. But they did not have the original Hebrew, so they said it's no good. So there's a lot of like Tobit, any book in our Apocrypha is not in the Old Testament. Like Maccabees, that's not in the Hebrew Old Testament, even though that's where Hanukkah comes from. But the Jews don't like it because it's in Greek. Because they'll say Greek's unholy. So how come the entirety of the New Testament is in Greek? It's not written in Hebrew. I thought Hebrew is the holy tongue. I thought Jesus was a Jewish rabbi. I thought Peter and all the disciples was all rabbis. They was all Jews. They was faithful Jews who loved Yahweh. Then how come they're not writing in Hebrew? Y'all ain't making no sense over here to me. Because none of that shit's true, bro. Jesus did not even worship the same God as the Jews. All right? Didn't even teach nowhere near the same thing that the Jews taught. The Jews taught what? Curse your enemies. Hate your enemies. Psalms 139 verse 22. Hate your enemies with a perfect hatred is what it says. That's the complete opposite of Jesus. The Old Testament is the opposite of Jesus. And Jesus got rid of everything old, including the Hebrew language. Gone. Gone. Banned for eternities. Banned. And Hebrew's okay. I can read Hebrew. I learned how to read Hebrew in like 2 weeks. If you guys want to learn an ancient language really quick, learn Hebrew. It's not hard at all. It's a caveman language. Biblical Hebrew's got about a 1,000 word vocabulary? Maybe it's more than that. This dude right here is going 5 miles an hour. Why are you driving so? Well, no wonder he's fucking 80. Like Grandpa. It's like rush hour. Stay at home during rush hour, old folks. And Africans, I got a message for you Africans out there. Just stay at home, period. You stay off the road. You're putting everyone's lives in danger. You don't know how to drive. Okay? You can't even read English. You can't read the street sign. Stay off the road. Well, they can't understand English, so they did not even receive this message. They still get my money for food stamps, though. Man, I feel good, though, guys, when you think about it. All my tax dollars for my whole life. I've never gotten anything from my tax dollars, ever, nothing. But I fed the whole world with my tax. I fed starving children in Africa, beautiful little starving black children. It doesn't matter what color they are, they're nappy-headed flies, but I fed those children with my tax dollars. I freed them, I liberated them with my tax. That's what my hard work did, is fed the mouths of many of the less fortunate than me. There's many very people who have been living a cursed existence all around the world. There are starving children all around the world. All through in America. There are many poor people in America. We have black people who suffered the atrocities of slavery. So I gotta brag. You shouldn't brag though when you help people. You should not brag. So I'm not bragging, I'm just saying. So you can't really complain. I'm responsible for these people's existence. If it wasn't for me and my hard work, they wouldn't even be living and have these beautiful, wonderful children and families off of my hard work. Okay, so we help feed them. I'm driving past a couple of them right now. They're dressed very nice. I helped buy those J's on their feet. You know what I'm saying? I paid for that. So there's a lot to be proud of, guys. A lot to be proud of. It's like, all right, back to the. Actually, I'm almost done driving. So you know what happens when I'm almost done driving is the video just comes to an abrupt end and it just stops, and I'm just done teaching. Cause it ain't my job to sit here and talk to y'all all day. It's like I do like talking though. I ain't gonna lie. But Lord willing, I'm gonna make more videos. I just set up a little video shooting spot at my house. Lord willing, I'll make some more videos. Besides, this video right here is janky, bro. I got this is audio only. This is like listening to AM radio. I need to put more effort into. I'm gonna get shadow banned anyway. This is the problem, guys. I'll put, 2 days of editing into a video, and it gets 10 views. It's like, I don't want to do that. That's not the life I want to live. All right, editing videos takes forever. So, and if nobody's going to watch it anyway, what's the point? Ah! I hit the curb, bro. I hit the curb pulling up. I was just watching a short on YouTube of somebody hit the curb pulling up, and he became a disgrace to his whole family. His dad was shaking his head at him. That's a disgrace. There's a woman looking at me. I hit the curb at me like, oh, filth. Parking like that. I'm about to get out of here, bro. Who said, hence why the true Bible canon is 73 books? The true biblical canon is 73 books? No, I say nay. The true biblical canon is one book with 10 of Paul's letters. So that's 11 books. Oh, plus the antithesis, because I'm a Marcionite. Well, apparently that's what they told me. I'm a Christian. They told me I got labeled that. So originally there was one gospel. One. Uno. Well, there's many gospels. There was one official gospel that could be trusted. The book of Luke. They added a bunch of stuff to it. Not the book of Luke that we have. Pretty much, though. I mean, the book of Luke is the best gospel, in my opinion. It's the main gospel I go to. For me, for the gospels, my favorite two gospels. I mean, I like them all, obviously, but definitely Luke and then John. John's got the ye are of your father, the devil in it, so that's a banger. That's a certified classic. All right, that's just gold, diamond, platinum, 1,000 times over, okay? What's hotter than a sun bitch up in here, bro? I'm out here sweating. All right, I had another point, bro. Oh, yeah, so originally the New Testament, who made the first ever New Testament? Because there's a guy made a comment. He said, hence why the true Bible canon is 73 books. Now, who invented, well, I don't want to say invented the idea of a canon. Who made the first ever New Testament canon? Who made it, guys? Who put it together? He didn't write it all. He put it together. Said, this is the only books that we should be reading. Or these are official. These are the most trusted books. These are the official books. The first person to ever make a collection and call it the New Testament was Marcion. Marcion made the first ever New Testament. The church will tell you this. The church says, yes, we made the Roman Catholic Church, or Eastern Orthodoxy, same thing, whatever, back then it was. They'll say we made our canon in response to Marcion. They admit that. They tell you that. They teach you that. They admit that Marcion was first. Marcion made the first ever New Testament, and you just can't get around that fact. And he said that Jesus did not worship the same God as the Jews. Now, here it is. The guy that made the first ever New Testament said that Jesus did not worship the same God as the Jews. But we're just supposed to ignore that. Hey, there's nothing to see here, guys. Just nothing to see here. Oh, that's all crazy, Marcion. Then what? But they copied his idea and made a New Testament. But whatever, man. So I know what's going on. I'm so glad that I know what's going on. And so I had to let other people know what's going on. So at the end of the day, we're all going to know what's going on. It just takes a while. I got to tell a person or two, and they tell a person or two. And then sooner or later, some like super hot shot learns about it, and he teaches like 1,000,000 people at once. And then we really get the ball rolling. It's a snowball effect. And sometimes it takes a minute to get the snowball going. But once that snowball gets going, boy, it don't stop. Then you get hit with the avalanche. And Satan gets buried in the avalanche. All right, but yeah, Moses has horns, guys. Why does Moses have horns? I thought the devil had horns.